Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff.
Welcome back to Fandom Family Chats. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Eve.
And tonight we are talking 911 Lone Star. OG is on break until April 10th, I believe. So just Lone Star this week and next week.
So it'll be a short one.
Mm-hmm. We had a lovely visit from an old frenemy. I'm not sure what you would call him.
Now, this was the guy who, he was at the 126 and they had to let him go twice because he was just not on board with anything they did, right? That's that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that I definitely, I remember that very clearly, but I was like, is that a different... Because I remembered the situation, I didn't remember his face.
Is this the guy that was the good baseball player?
Yeah, so they fired him and then they convinced him to come back so that they could win that baseball or tournament or something. And then they got rid of him again.
Yeah.
So needless to say, he was just, a tiny bit bitter.
I wonder why.
He got fired. He only got fired twice. I don't see what there's to be upset about here.
I mean, he was better at baseball than anything else.
Maybe he should stick to baseball because he did not have a lot of luck in this episode. I was amazed by this call they went on. Those contacts, they just kept sliding out. It was like, a clown car, but an eye with contacts in it. And I was like, holy moly, how is it possible to... I guess it is easy to forget if I guess if you're older, if you've forgotten to put contacts in and then you forget to take them out or something. I don't know, but I was like, that sounds really painful.
How did you not feel that before you had 12 lodged up in there? I think I would feel one.
Well, one I can understand because that's happened before where I'll think I took it out, but it actually just shifted up. And I'll have put a second one in there not knowing that it's still in. But I mean, I'm fine. I'm not blind or whatever. I didn't need, I didn't need Tommy to come and save me. But I would go and take it out. I'd be like, that's two stuck together. That's interesting. But I didn't even notice that there were two.
It doesn't change the vision?
No, because the other one was kind of up. It wasn't on my pupil, where the contact should be.
I think you'd still feel it up there. I don't know. I guess there's space back up there where you wouldn't feel it.
I mean, maybe if...
I don't know. I mean, I feel an eyelash in my eye when I have it.
I definitely would have felt if there were 3 in there, let alone 12.
12? That seems excessive.
If you had 12 contacts in there, wouldn't that affect your vision? Wouldn't your eye... Because she said that she just had a headache, but wouldn't your eye also be in pain? I'd be hightailing it to the eye doctor. Be like, hey, my eye kind of hurts and I can't see.
I think I have a problem.
I think something else I love too is Nancy. She just... And I mean, she does this for a living, but she still is just whoa, that's a lot of contacts. These kinds of things are not something she sees every day, but it's girlfriend, this is your job. Why are you still amazed by everything that you see?
I love Nancy when she's amazed by stuff. She's so fun.
She is so much fun. I love her.
I really hope we get to see more from her this season at some point. Because we haven't really got Did we get a Nancy backstory?
Nope.
Don't remember one.
I don't think so, because the like when we started the show, because the premise was that Owen built this team up from scratch, but the ambulance, like the paramedic team was already a solid team. Like it was already a built team. He had nothing to do with that. So Nancy was kind of already there. But yeah, I mean, I've said it before, but I really would love to see some backstory episodes like they do on OG.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't seem to give us as many backstories here, which I don't like.
Yeah, it might be because just of how the show started with Owen starting from scratch, so we kind of already saw like where they come from. But I feel like we're not really seeing how they got to actually become, a paramedic or a firefighter or whatever. So that would be fun to see.
Yeah, we get it from like the main characters, and that's about it. I
But
don't like that they're having to work with Paragon because I don't like Paragon.
uh, maybe I'm just a big dummy and it's super obvious, but I don't understand how like private ambulances work. Like you call 911 and they send an ambulance. So like how does the private ambulance company come into play? Like is there a different number you call?
Yeah, I have no idea. I was wondering that myself.
Okay, cool. Because I'm sitting there thinking, I feel like a big dummy right now, but because that was a thing too on Chicago Fire for a little bit, was they had an issue with some private ambulance company. And I wondered then too, I was like, how does that work? Because I assume dispatchers, will dispatch, the public ones or whatever it is that they're called.
Well, the first patient, the woman with the contacts, said that her husband just called 911 instead of calling the number she usually calls. So
Right,
I
right.
guess they had a special number for them. But I don't like with the,
But how would you get that special number unless
I don't know, unless they work with like their insurance or something, maybe. I'm not sure. Because with the perfume building, he Pierce was asking the guy about what insurance they had, didn't he? Like what like PPO or whatever they had.
yeah, he did.
And he's like, "Oh, we work directly with you or something." So,
Or I wonder if it's a thing where they're constantly just like driving around town or something, and if they hear about an emergency that comes up, they just, arrive on scene,
that's true,
which sounds kind of which sounds super shady.
right? It
But I
does.
imagine that that might be how it works. If you're listening and you know how this works and you're screaming at us that we're stupid or wrong, like please let us know because we're confused.
Yes, please inform us.
As usual, we're very confused.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
But then, oh, the one thing I did want to talk about was Grace, because she was on, so they went to another call. I don't remember if it was the perfume factory, it probably was, but like they got the call and she's on the phone with Grace, like through dispatch. And then Grace gets a cell phone call and she's like, hi, Tommy. She's like, Gracie, listen, you need to get me there before Paragon does. I'm not losing another patient. Grace is, Grace, she has like such, like she always tries to keep that moral high ground. But I feel like when it comes to 126 people, she's always like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but not again. I'm like, Grace, just stop it. You know you're gonna do that again. You're gonna do it every time somebody calls.
I think that's just gonna happen when your best friend and your husband both work there. You gotta be loyal to them.
There's bias there, especially when they insist that their job is on the line because of these other people. It's like, okay.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, that man on the bus with the catheter that pulled out.
I spent right up until that moment, I was thinking, what is the emergency going to be? Like, he's standing up. Is the bus going to crash? And he like goes through the windshield because, that would be interesting. I was going to say fun, but that it's not fun to be thrown through a windshield. But I was like, what is this going to be? And then his catheter got pulled out. I was like, holy, that's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
And it was
As
squirting.
soon as I was wondering myself too. Like I was like, where's this going? As soon as they were focusing on the shorts and the catheter so much, I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna go well.
And the poor man, it happened because he was trying to be nice and like give up his seat and help people. And I'm like, if that's what's going to happen to me, if I do something nice, like I'm never gonna do that. Like,
Right?
oh no, I'm not giving up my seat. I saw what happened on that episode of 911.
I know I don't have a catheter. That is not the point.
The point is that anything is possible, and I will stay right here.
I was really confused with their inventive thinking on getting the patient from one end of the bus to the other. Is it just me, or did it seem like such a really short distance?
Okay, I was confused too, but the reason I was confused is because they put all this planning into it, and they're like, okay, on the count of three. And all they did was slide him across, and then Paul and Mateo caught him. I'm like, oh, that was the whole plan?
I don't think they needed all the rope and the theatrics. I think they could have just given him a little shove and he would have
Yeah,
ended up in
couldn't
a
they
safe
just
spot.
have been like, hey, Paul, Mateo, pay attention. Here, catch, and pushed him? Like, I don't know why it required all
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like Owen was there. I mean, these are smart people. So,
And it was really funny because when they were showing him going from one end to the other, like an actual motion, it seemed like the distance was pretty far. And then when they went back and shot from behind him, it's like, oh, that's like 5 feet, dude. What the hell was that?
yeah, it really wasn't that much. It's not
They
like
made it look a lot longer.
they made it seem like they were way in the back of the bus and trying to slide him way to the front of the bus. But no, like he was towards the front already.
Yeah,
But in
that
any
was
case,
funny.
I did for some reason enjoy seeing Paul and Mateo slip all over that blood all over the floor.
I did not know blood was one of they call them slickest substances.
Is that
Slippery? Forget what they said.
quick, slippery,
Yeah,
something like
something
that?
like that. Did
I
not
mean,
know that actually.
guess it makes sense. I mean, blood can be slippery. I mean, not that I've ever slipped in blood.
I don't know. I've never been around enough blood to slip on it, I guess. So
Yeah,
probably why I didn't know that.
I've never been around that much blood like in person. I watch a lot of medical dramas, so I
Yeah,
mean, I see blood a lot, and
just all of the TV.
I'm aware that it's fake blood, and I'm okay with that because I don't do blood.
This is true. I'm actually okay with other people's blood. My own blood, not so much. Yeah. I actually passed out when I was having something done to my toe once. I saw blood. I'm just like, nope. Still back on the table.
Like, nope, I'm out of here. I'm gonna pass out. You guys do your thing. Wake me up when you're done.
That's basically what happened. I'm like, oh, I'm fainting. And I fainted.
Like, this is happening, and we're just gonna go with it.
Yep, I knew it was coming. Nothing I could do to stop it.
Well, at least there was a bed there to kind of break your fall.
This is true. I'm glad I was laying down. I'm like, oh, least I'm in the bed,
Well, see,
not
now you
just gonna fall
know.
on the floor.
If you're gonna do anything requiring like blood coming out of me, I need to like be like sitting on a bed, like, or at least like in a place where I can comfortably fall and not injure myself.
Mhm. Which is why any dental surgery I have, I always make sure that I'm knocked out for. Don't want to see it. Can't do it.
Like, I want to go to sleep and wake up and it's magically all done.
Exactly. Yes. That is the only way I will do it.
The end, I guess the end of this storyline, at least for this episode, I hope we get to see more. I don't know where else they could go with it, but that did not end the way I thought it was going to end with Pierce in the hospital. When he was like, "Oh yeah, you bet I'm suing," and I was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna sue the people he works for." That was one of the most beautiful things I've seen on TV.
Hmm. I hope
And
we see Pierce again after that because I think I might like him more now.
and his boss was like visibly panicked. He's like, "I think I need to go make some phone calls." And Tommy's like, "Yeah, I think you do."
I think this kind of put him and Tommy on a much friendlier level now.
Yeah, so yeah, I do hope we get to see more of him. I feel like we have to. It otherwise it would be strange to have brought him back.
Yeah, they'll probably show us more of him, suing the crap out of Paragon. I want to see it anyways.
I want to see it all like go down.
I got my explosion this week too. I was excited about that.
Oh, you did. Yeah, I remember I thought of you when I saw the preview. I was like, "Oh, Tiffany gets an explosion."
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Tommy's team working together this week. It was nice to see them all in action together. And then we have Owen. Poor Owen. He's always confused about something.
This is true. He is always confused. It does not matter what storyline we're talking about, but we can say with absolute certainty that it always begins with this happened because Owen is very confused. But this was a rather like unfortunate confusion,
It
I
really
think.
was.
Which, I mean, to be fair, I was also a little confused.
I will give him that.
But
She
I
did not go about it the right way, so
but,
it was confusing.
but I also feel like Owen went with it for longer than was acceptable. Like after the first check, he should have been like, hey, Lindsay, because I don't know her name here. But like, hey,
Kendra.
Kendra, that doesn't sound right. It's Lindsay. It's like, hey, Kendra, so this check you gave me, like, what's the deal? But no, he can't do that because he's Owen.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing about this though was when he was talking to everyone at the station about it, and they're all sitting there, and there's his son sitting there listening to his dad talk about how someone is paying him, and he's just sitting there like he's just like, this is not a man who's his father. Like, yeah, this is my life now. My dad does weird things, and it's totally normal. Because he was also kind of just going with the flow when they were racing the ambulance to beat Paragon earlier. He's just sitting in the back smiling. He's like, whoa.
He's just wait. Wait.
I was like, TK, I think you've been desensitized to what is and is not like, typical normal behavior.
That's funny.
It's most people don't want to hear their parents talk about these kinds of things.
This is true. Yeah. No, I wouldn't. No.
I'm still confused about where she was going with this whole thing because I mean every time they, did their business, she leaves him a check. So how did she think that would look?
Yeah, I don't think she really thought that through very well. I mean, also, to be fair, Most people would not automatically jump to, oh, I'm getting paid for sex. So,
I mean, yeah,
yeah,
the first time was an assumption on Owen's part, but the second time, like, now it's a pattern.
a Venmo, $40,000 Venmo.
I have
Okay,
never
that one was weird. Who Venmos for charity?
I have never gotten a $40,000 Venmo, and now I am very upset about it.
Yeah, don't look at me because you won't be getting it from me.
So anyone who wants to send me $40,000, my Venmo is. I also have Zelle,
Cash App, PayPal.
all the things. I just want the $40,000. Doesn't matter how I get it.
I like how everybody kept calling her sugar mama. I'm glad that they got things, sorted out. And she was not paying him.
Yeah, I was really nervous that this was going to be dragged out for episodes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I was like, this may or may not be more painful than that ridiculous FBI storyline. Like, I don't know if I can allow us to be dragged out for episodes on end. So I'm glad that was cleared up. But I'm still really confused as to why she didn't consider that creating this pattern would have been confusing.
You would think.
Twice? Like, this happened twice.
It's like, can you not just give him a check before you do certain activities?
Like, what about calling the morning after and being like, hey, had a great time. I'm really interested in your charity. Here's some money. Like something that's not going to be misinterpreted.
She does seem really sweet, though. I mean, clearly she's very wealthy, comes from money. And she said it was a charity that she really believes in because her brother died from lung cancer. So it's really nice that she, supports the charity, but better ways to do it than the way she's going about it.
Like, let's support the charity in, healthier, less confusing ways, please.
I mean, even if you're writing a check, why would you put Owen's name on it?
Yeah. I remember. I just remembered
Weird.
that. That's weird. I mean, if it was a charity that means so much to her, then it's not like she just forgot the name of the charity and was like, here, I'm going to make it out to you, give it to the charity.
Right?
That sounds pretty irresponsible. Like, if I had $40,000 to give to somebody, I would want to make sure it goes to where I'm wanting it to go. But that's just me.
You would think.
I did really like her, though, which I was surprised about because I did not love her one tiny little bit on One Tree Hill. But I feel like her character was different enough here where I was able to separate.
I love the actress, Michaela McMahon. Just like our other One Tree Hill alumni, we had Amanda Shaw. She was the FBI agent. It's really nice seeing all these One Tree Hill people on the show.
Yeah. Can't wait to see who they bring in next.
Michaela was also on You, season 3.
Who was she in season
Yes,
3?
season 3. The neighbor.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do remember that. Sorry, the thing about you, not you, is first of all, people need to stop making shows with confusing titles. Anyway, the thing with you is that there's a lot of information that I don't remember from season to season, but I can't go back and rewatch. Like, it's not a rewatch kind of show for me.
Basically, all you need to know is Joe likes to kill people.
Joe likes to kill people and cover it up. He falls in love with someone who also likes to kill people. He
And
tries to
cover
be
it up.
good. He tries to
And
be
then
good, but then
they
he
try to
keeps
kill each other. So, it's just a lot of killing, a little bit of love thrown in there. and love did some killing. So, it's, yeah.
Psychological manipulation, all the fun stuff.
The show name is confusing. Some of the character names are confusing. When you call his wife Love, that's not confusing at all. Come on now. Anyways, 911. Lone Star.
Um,
Next week, it looks like we're going to get some more of a storyline for Mateo.
so yeah, we have Mateo's cousin in trouble, which we were just saying we wish we could learn more about. Well, we said Nancy, but I guess Mateo will do for now. So I guess we're gonna learn a little bit more about Mateo's family
Maybe.
and stuff.
It doesn't
But
look good for his
the
cousin.
fun one, if you're just listening and not watching us, I just used air quotes around fun. We have a woman with an arrow through her neck, which Tiffany, I know you don't watch One Chicago. I mean, you should, but we'll talk about that later. But they did this on Chicago too, and I remember us commenting that it was really interesting that they did it on Chicago because it felt like a 911, like a call that would happen on 911, because 911 usually gets all the funny calls, like an arrow through the neck, which we know that it's okay. We know that the woman's going to be okay. The more ridiculous the call, the more likely it is that they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, that's usually pretty true, actually. Although it looks like her case is really weird because
Oh,
she's
yeah.
shot through the jugular and she wasn't bleeding.
And we know from our lesson last week that, the jugular is not something you mess with. So I'm really interested to see what all that's about.
Yeah, it looks like a good episode next week. I don't know when we're getting our wedding, but we were promised it this season.
We want a wedding. No,
We're
no.
already 10 episodes in.
We need a wedding.
We demand a wedding.
And we demand that after that wedding, you leave them the heck alone. We want to see
I
nothing
wish.
but like puppies and unicorns and rainbows. Where
Maybe
they're
some babies?
Yeah, oh, I want babies. I mean, I want them to have babies.
I'm like, do you now?
Like, really? Because just a few days ago, you sent a lot of gifts talking about how, no, 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 you do not want babies.
This is true. Actually, a few of us did. Oh, this was a pretty good episode. I really enjoyed seeing Michaela on here. I hope we get to see more of her because it looks like her and Owen have something nice going on. I mean, it'd be nice for him to kind of settle down a little.
Yeah, I feel like every time he, has a lady come into the picture, they just disappear. Like that one girl from last season.
Amy Ackerman's character. I
Yeah.
can't think of her name. But yeah, her.
She
I really liked
was,
her.
yeah,
Catherine, I think it was.
yeah. I really liked her. Like, I don't remember if they said too much about what happened with her.
I mean, they said that they were gonna take a break and maybe think about the future at a different point, but I guess they decided on a permanent break instead.
Okay, well, that doesn't work for me.
That is all we have for you this week, guys. But do not forget to check out our socials and our Facebook group, 911 Family Fan Club. And don't forget to tune in next week for more episodes. Of course, Sunday are our Fox nights where we talk 911, 911 Lone Star, and The Resident when it's on. Tuesday is our NBC night where we discuss all three One Chicago shows. And then Wednesday nights are our ABC nights where we dig into Grey's Anatomy and Station 19. Thank you for listening, guys. Please subscribe. Bye.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.